Hello, good morning. Good morning. You can hear anybody?
Yes, everyone.
Um, yeah, hello. You can
Yeah.
hear me?
Hello.
Hello, hello. So we just try if the connection is okay. So
Okay, but
welcome everybody.
it's
My
like
name
my
is
camera
Katarina.
my
And
camera is not
My camera is
working.
not working.
But you are
there's no.
able to share the presentation?
Let me just go. Yes, I think.
We are not able to see something, so.
You can see anything?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Sharing.
Okay, until you will manage, I can say that the presentation or one presentation should take 20 minutes, 15 minutes. That's up for presentation, 5 minutes for questions. And we have just 4 presentations, so we have time. But...
Yeah, I'm not able to share the screen. From my side, it's like it's shared, but it's not appearing on the screen.
And maybe you can try to log out and then again, and maybe it will work.
Okay, I think I've tried that.
Did you upload your presentation?
Yes.
I was wondering.
He's gone.
Okay, 2 minutes, and then we will start with your presentation. Okay. Hi, can you hear us? Very strange noise.
From my side?
Yeah.
Quiet. Can you see the slides now?
No. Maybe can he send to you the presentation by mail?
But then he can't like press the.
Yeah, but you will move, but I'm not sure he will be able to. Our technical assistant give you the email address, and you can try to send him the presentation. Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
And until that's happened, we will start with the second presentation. Okay.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah, we start with the second, and then you will present your presentation until we will manage.
Okay, no worries.
So please,
Okay.
you are Andre.
Yes.
Okay, welcome. And the presentation is on the topic physical informed neutral networks for multi-dimensional black hole option, pricing, accuracy, scalability, and limitation. So.
Thank you. I have a bit of notation here.
I had to say that I'm from regional economics and I know nothing about it. So please feel free to ask questions because I think here are more qualified people.
It's simple. What's complicated is option pricing, but computational, it's the economic. Good morning, everyone. My name is André, and this work was developed by me and Isaac Santos and Lúcia Catabrita. And our work is entitled Physical and Formal Neural Networks for High-Dimensional Black Shoes, Option Price, Accuracy, Scalability, and Limitations. And this work investigates how if pins, physical or physical formal neural networks, can be competitive with compared with classical methods, especially when underlying assets increase. So our follow is organized as follows. First, I will present the motivations. Then I will discuss the Black-Scholes model and the payoff, which translates in this work. And I will explain the numerical methods and pin formulation and experimental setup. And finally, I will discuss the results and conclusions and future work. So, option pricing is a central problem in computational finance. In one-dimensional, as underlying asset has one underlying asset, the classical methods works very well, and the Black-Scholes have a analytical solution. However, for multi-asset options, the Black-Scholes equations become multidimensional and more complex. So grid-based methods, in this case, suffer from the curse of dimensionality. In this context, pins is interesting because they provide a mesh-free alternative and they fix the problem. I agree. They can learn the results in the PD. The main question of this work is, can physical and formal neural networks provide a competitive alternative to classical numerical and stochastical methods for option price as dimensionality increase? To answer this, we compare pin with Monte Carlo, finite difference, and binomial trees. And we evaluate using May and RMC. And evaluate it to the computational using prediction time. Analyze in scala in dimensions, 1 dimension, 2 dimensions, 3 dimensions, and 5 dimensions. Is the number of underlying assets. So the Black-Scholes is this equation for multidimensional where V is the option price, depends on that on time, and we have a vector of the underlying assets. D is the number of underlying assets. S is the price of assets in each E. Is the risk-free, the dividend yield, the volatility of the assets, and correlation between the assets. And the mixes of the derivatives become these formulas more complex, these terms, when the underlying assets increase, this explodes in the grid, and it's become more complex to solve. We use this payoff, is the sum of the eights of the assets minus the strike, the price of the contract, the final contract, and the sum of the eights is equals 1. For D is equals 1, the problem reduces a standard aerobical option. For D higher than 1, is no have closed form, no have solution, analytical solution. In this case, numerical methods are required. This is the analytical solution. We use the solution for as a reference for one-dimensional experiments, and for other dimensions, we use a high accuracy Monte Carlo simulation. And we compare in our methods the computation. This is the methods we compare. Finite difference, we solve the PD on the grid, and binomial tree, we have a stochastic approximation. The Monte Carlos, we simulate as many asset paths, and average discounted payoff. And finally, we use PIN if we training neural networks in a PD. And our methods is compare in 1 dimension and 2 dimensions. In 3 dimensions and 5 dimensions, we use only Monte Carlos and PIN, because there's other methods explored in the grid, and we can calculate it. These figures, we summarize this approach, and this classical methods is very accurate in low dimensions, but grid and trees methods become expensive as a dimensionality increase. And prints learn reasonable and foreseeable and mesh-free approximation after training phasing. So the PIN formulation, we approximate this option price using neural networks. The output is equals the exact price. We try to equal the exact price, and the Black-Scholes can be written compactly, and we pretend to compare the output to the Black-Scholes. And we take the residual, and the residual measures how much the neural networks value can violate the Black-Scholes equations. We have this loss function. We have 3 terms. The first term is the interior points. And the second term is the initial condition. In this case, we use the initial conditions, the final contract. And the third term is the boundary condition. The boundary condition and the domain area. We use this architecture. The full connected feed-forward neural networks. We input the dimensions, the asset price, and the time. And we use 3 layers with 64 neurons each. And the one output is the price calculated. We use the active function about tangent and initialization, the glorious normal. We use that for optimization and learning rates and the three. And we use it 50,000 iterations. The overview of workflow of our neural networks. We put the underlying asset price and the time, and we compare the output with the black shows, and we can do the loss function, and we try to minimize to loss function to better approximation. We use AMC to compare the evaluation metrics, and the lower MA and MC indicate a better accuracy, and prediction time used to compare computational codes. Prediction time is different to training time. EP training time is bigger than prediction time, and we use these scenarios in the experiments. In one dimension, we use analytical solutions, and all other dimensions, we use high accuracy Monte Carlo as a reference. Use a strike price. It's 50, and maximum asset value is 200. One, 2 dimensions is 4 methods compared, 3 dimensions just pin and Monte Carlo. And use this configuration. So the results: binomial tree achieve the lowest error. Binomial tree in finite difference. It's better, much better than Monte Carlo and P. Finite difference is very fast in prediction time, and P is the worst in one dimension. We expect in one dimension. This is profile price. We can see it, but we have difference in each methods. Just P have you can see a deviation in the boundary condition, but all methods shapes very well the exact price. And just P is the worst. But so P can simulate the price, but it was the worst in this case. And in this architecture, the block spot, and we can see the same conclusion. The P was the worst, and binomial tree and difference was the best. And in this case, is the exact price because So just P is the worst in one dimension. 2 dimensions is the same. Binomial tree is accurate, but in this case become computationally expensive. And finite difference remain highly efficient. And P is the fast training, but less accurate than the Monte Carlo. And the error distribution shows the same pattern. And binomial tree has the lowest error in finite difference too. Monte Carlo has moderated error. In 3 dimensions, we compare just Monte Carlo and PIN, and Monte Carlo remain more accurate. PIN provides fast inference, and the offline training costs approximately 200 seconds. So PIN in this case can be reusable, but have a high training time, but the fast in prediction time. In this case, PIN is reusable for sensitivity, calculate sensitivity, and others methods. The distribution, the blocks plot shows the same. Monte Carlo has the best, and it's almost it's very approximated to Monte Carlo, but Monte Carlo is the best in this case. And 5 dimensions, we can see the same. Monte Carlo provide the best accuracy, and PIN remain applicable in 5 dimensions without grid constriction. And the offline training costs approximately for 400 seconds. And the error distribution can be the same in this case. The main findings: classical methods are clearly superior in low-dimensional cases. Finite difference and binomial tree achieve the lowest errors in 1 and 2 dimensions. Monte Carlo remain a strong baseline in high dimensions, and PIN are not the most accurate methods in the tested configurations. So we tested another configurations. We can see in another configurations better results. However, PIN offers fast reusable inference. It's very important. Because after training, we can reuse this model for calculated the Greeks of the option pricing. They have strengths and limitations. PINs as a mesh-free formulation applicable in high dimensions. Fast inference after training is a reusable model, and we can calculate the sensitivities. But however, they have limitations. It has a high offline training cost, can be approximated bias, sensitivity to sampling strategy, sensitivity to loss balance, and difficult to near non-smooth payoff regions, principle in boundary conditions. In conclusion, PIN should not be viewed as an universal replacements for classical methods. In low dimensions, finite difference and binomial tree remain superior. In high dimensions, PIN become attractive with the mesh-free nature, and Monte Carlos remain more accurate in the tested configurations, and PIN are promising repeat pricings, and we can calculate the sensitivities of the option price, and then this model are improved. And for future works, we want tested other configurations. We can test it adaptive collocation sampling, better treatment of those multi-payoff regions. We want to test adaptative loss balance, change the architecture, the neural architecture, and we want to work with hard constraints for boundary and payoff conditions. We work with these hard constraints, and we have better results. And we extend this work to American and Asian options, and path-dependent options too. So that's it. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Here's the place for the questions.
Yes. Okay. Game results depend on the width and depth of the neural network. Is it the results with the best configuration?
I don't say so.
Your result is the best configuration. You believe it is the best configuration, or you can change width or depth of a neural network.
Yes, it depends the best configurations, and it's very sensitive. This configuration usage, but principle. The neural the configurations change the time to obtain the better results, but or the variability to the decay of the loss function. But the results in is the same in depends on the iterations. So using more neurons or more hidden layers, not specifically obtain the better results. Just it's more depends more time, so in more training iterations, because we train a lot of architecture and don't have much difference in the results.
A quick clarification. Your timing includes training.
Yes.
Okay.
About the question that we were discussing right now, did you use some kind of optimization algorithm to choose the parameters of the neural networks? For example, a tune or something, or you just chose randomly the number of neurons and depth of the network and tried?
Algorithms of optimizations?
Yeah, because so in neural networks you can use something called, like, the most popular one is a Python package called Optuna, and it's a brute force optimization algorithm that you give a range for the number of neurons, the number of layers, and it tries all the combinations and then gives you the best one.
No, so we don't use algorithm for optimization the number of layers, because it will be very expensive, and so don't have the much difference. So because the difference is the most difference is the architecture using hard constraints, because the problem is all methods can fit very well in 0, and pins with approximate in this region don't have much difference. don't stay in zero with pin. So the using algorithm don't change everything in this case. We can try using algorithm for maximizing and minimizing this case the accuracy, but the problem is in this case in the boundary conditions we try to avoid this deviation. So if you
increasing the number of collocation points in the boundary condition, would that help?
yes, if using a hard constraint, we can solve this problem. So
A hard constraint, so you mean not
We-
the one you are.
we assume the pin has, in this case, the price is 200. We fix it and train in the
That's right.
inside the domain.
So you are saying that the output of the neural network, you
Yes.
constrained it so that the neurons
We
can.
fix the output to, in
They
this
can go
case,
over the 200 range.
and we have better results and
Yeah.
we fix it in boundary conditions and the initial conditions. We can try to run a optimization algorithm, but we try other methods and have better results. So this works. We use that's configurations.
Yeah.
But we can use a better and
Can I just ask one little question? Because I'm really curious because I wasn't expecting that thing would be so bad compared to the other ones. So did you, is the discretization of
Sorry?
the discretization? So in pins, you have to choose the points, the time steps, the pin is sampling. Is the pin using the same time steps as the other methods?
yes.
Yeah.
This.
Okay, that's weird.
It's the worst, but
How did you choose the penalty parameters? So those lambdas.
yes,
How did you
we
choose?
assume every lambdas has one.
Oh, no.
So
Because
It is
so you have 3 loss terms,
yes,
and if you don't optimize the lambda parameters, then you are going to
No.
have an unbalanced.
We test
That's why it's
just-
not learning that.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that's future work.
if
Optimizing lambdas.
exactly.
Okay.
So we can try a lot of asset configuration.
Yeah. Okay.
I just show one configuration
Yeah.
with
It's a preliminary.
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
because we work is just try to see if can be competitive, and we just show this.
Yeah. So one idea would be that's what we were discussing. Using an adaptive
Penalty.
penalty
Yeah.
function.
Yes,
So
my
we
curiosity-
will be using.
My curiosity, it does not apply to the first weight that you have associated to the objective function, because you have a weight set to the objective plus weights associated to the constraints. For me, it does not make sense to have a penalty associated to objective function.
So we can use algorithm to optimize the rate of the penalty of the lambda. So there's a lot of work to do, but
We have
it's an initial configuration.
Yeah. No, we have a work that is like
Oh,
dealing with that
interesting.
problem because it's really hard to choose the lambda
Yes,
because
it's right. It's fine.
when you are training the neural network, like usually you choose a
Because of
fixed-
this, we just assume one in this lambda.
Yeah, that's the problem with fits. It's really difficult to optimize the lambdas.
Yes,
So
exactly.
that's why maybe you have the problem. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for the questions and discussion. Thank you. And we can try continue with Jordan if the presentation will work.
You have
You have the mobile.
I'll just open my email and download the presentation. This is very slow.
So, are you able to see the presentation? Is he able to hear us?
I think yes. It should be. Yep.
Hmm? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
And are you able to see the presentation because we are sharing it?
Yes, I'm able to see.
Okay, so you can start and our technical assistant will move the presentation. Okay, you can give him instruction and he will help you.
All right.
But
Could you
please take the time because the presentation should take 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Okay. All right. I can start.
Yes, you can start.
All right. Good morning, everyone. The title of my talk is Machine Learning Assisted Two-Level Mixed Finite Element for Darcy-Fuchima Model. My name is Johnson, and this work is a joint work with Faisal Farag from King Fahad University. Next slide, please. So my problem is basically the Darcy-Fuchima problem, but starting with Darcy law describes a linear relationship between velocity and pressure gradient. But when you're dealing with a high velocity flows, as a result of the increase in the accelerations and deceleration of the particles, the inertia effect is being introduced. So there is a need to account for that. And that's why we have this nonlinear term, which is called the inertia term, which is velocity. So this equation models high velocity flow in porous media, especially in reservoir and hydrodynamic flows. Here we'll be considering a particular model. This is the model we'll be considering. And in this model, we have U. U is the velocity, P is the pressure, and we have the properties of the fluid. We have the fluid density, the viscosity, and the Fuchima number, which is mostly a property of, the geometry, the porous media. This is a steady state Darcy-Fuchima system, and it's been studied extensively. Next slide, please. In particular, we'll be considering this weak formulation. This is the variational formulation for the problem. We use this particular one. There are, I think, other formulations. But for these formulations, we do not require derivative on the velocity, only on the pressure. And these can be found in the work of Girault and Wheeler, 2008. I'll just mention a bit about this nonlinear operator, AV. It's monotone, it's hemi-continuous, it's cohesive, and it is also bounded. And that is required for the proof of the existence and uniqueness. And also here we can see that there's also need for the compatibility condition, which is in the previous slide, to establish well-posedness. And also for uniqueness, you need the average of the mean of the pressure to be 0 to have the uniqueness of the pressure. Next slide, please. Here we introduce a kind of regularization because we know that this term here, this absolute value of V multiplied by V is not differentiable at 0, so we introduce an epsilon just to avoid having any singularity at 0. And we have this derivative, which we use for the linearization. Next slide. And here we just run you through some properties of the derivatives of that functional, and it's bounded. We already have the result of these important, especially when it comes to the linearization in trying to find the theoretical bounds or convergence. Next, please. And here we also introduce a Taylor series expansion, which I will refer to it later. So we go to the slide 7. It's about a discrete formulation of the problem. And here we consider, for the velocity, we are considering a piecewise constant. Then for the pressure, it's a piecewise linear and continuous. So this pair happen to satisfy the IMSUF condition, so that which guarantees the alongside with the properties of the operator A, which I mentioned earlier. We can also prove the existence and uniqueness of the discrete solution. So here, as we can see, the L here, L is either capital H. Capital H refers to the coarse mesh in this case, and the small h refers to the fine mesh. So there are many methods that have been used to solve this problem. Next slide, please. Next. All right, here, thank you. And so we'll just be talking about two-level methods. Two-level method because it's a nonlinear problem. So you discretize it using a mixed finite element, irrespective of the element you use. You're dealing with a nonlinear system. And in solving a nonlinear system, there is a method, the two-level method. This is just pictorial explanation. So what two-level method does is, we have a coarse mesh. So on the coarse mesh, you solve a small nonlinear system, then which you use as a rough solution. Whatever solution you get from there, you use it to linearize the nonlinear problem. Then on the fine mesh, you now have a linear system, which can be, a huge system. So this is just the rough explanation for two-level method. And this method has been applied to solve semi-elliptic equation. It has been applied for even Navier-Stokes. Next slide, please. So it's been applied for, to solve Navier-Stokes equation and also Darcy-Fuchaimer model. And that is by Ferrach and Johnson. So here we are trying to introduce, and this is the main result. Next slide, slide 11, please. So in this paper, we're able to establish the convergence rate for the velocity as well as the pressure to be of the H. And the motivation for what I'm sharing today is, next slide, please. And here, instead of having the classical two-level method, in the classical two-level method, what we have is that on the coarse mesh, we solve the nonlinear system using a Newton's method. Then we linearize, then we now have a linear system, which we solve on the fine mesh. So we're like, okay, what about if the nonlinear solver on the coarse mesh could be replaced by maybe a surrogate neural network? Next, please. So what if a trained surrogate could replace the coarse nonlinear solver? And that is how we introduce, we propose these pin-assisted two-level neural network. Next, please. So here in the pin-assisted, what we do is that we train a pin surrogate, then you will project onto the coarse finite element space. Then step 3, we just solve the linear correction. So instead of having the nonlinear solver, the Newton's method, here we have the pin, and then we project the pin solution, which is also like a rough solution, onto the coarse mesh, and then we solve. So the linear system for the classical two-level and the pin-assisted two-level is almost the same. So the difference is just what happens on the coarse mesh. Next slide, please. So here just a brief of the architecture we use for the neural network. We have 3 hidden layers, 40 neurons. That's the activation function, the optimizer, the learning rate. For this problem, we just choose the same weight. We use interior point, 800 interior point, and 300 boundary point per epoch. Next slide, please. Okay, next one, next. So this is just this is the loss function. The loss function, which is just the sum of squares of the residual. This is coming from the boundary, and this is from the boundary term. So here we estimated this residual integral using a Monte Carlo estimator, and what we project after training, we project our solution on the coarse mesh, which is the step 2. And then in step 3, we just solve the linear step 3, please. Next slide. So on the next slide, now we solve this linear system. So what we did is that we just used the pin solution to linearize the nonlinear term, and then we use the Taylor series to take the linear part of the nonlinear term in that equation, and that is why we have this. So what is the changes? The changes is only the linearization point. If you're dealing with classical 2-level method, the U capital H in this equation is getting from the what? From the Newton solution prolonged to the fine mesh. But for the pin assisted, this UH is replaced by the UH, which we got from the pins. Next, please. This is just a residual. Yeah, this is the residual. You can calculate this, but this is just theoretical for now. Next, please. And so here we try to get a residual to error estimate. And here, this is just the proof strategies. We define EU to be this, and then we use the IMSUP conditions. Combined, we use the triangular inequality, and just to get the order of convergence. Next slide, please. So we're able to obtain the first order H, provided that we have these scale that we have this relation. The H is related, the fine mesh and the coarse mesh relation, and also that the residual is also of order H. Next slide. So here we just take a simple, we call it a single query example, just to test to see maybe if we're able to save some cost or not. So this is a manufactured, we have a manufactured solution, and our domain here is just 0, 1 × 0, 1. These are the parameters used to very smooth solutions. And B, we can find B by just finding the divergence of U. We can derive F using the P2. P2 is our PDE, the governing equation, the first one. And we can find our G, which is the boundary flux. Next slide, please. So here we we compare the classical 2-level and also the pin-assisted 2-level. And here we have the order of convergence. As you can see, the rate of convergence for both the velocity. This is for both the classical and the pin in terms of order of convergence, and there is really no loss of accuracy. Next, please. So yeah, this is just a log plot of the errors. Next slide, please. So here we also try to look at what will be the effect of beta. So we choose different set of values from beta 1 to 20. In terms of velocity, both methods, it's comparable, but we realize that there is a error degradation and struggles with the pin when it comes to the pressure, the quality of the error and the pressure obtained. Next slide. Then we look at the computational cost. Computational cost is what we did is that for just like I said, both methods, the mesh, the fine mesh is almost the same. The difference is what happened on the coarse mesh. So for the classical two-level method, we just compute the time for the Newton's method. But for the pins assisted, we have to look at the training time and also the projection time. But you can see from the table that the pin is still more expensive for a single query experiment. So we decided to consider a multi-query experiment, which is on the next slide. Yeah, so this is, we just assume that sorry. This is an alarm fire. Hello, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, there's a fire alarm. Just sorry about that. So this is a multi-query experiment. So we just assume you are solving different problems that are somehow related. For example, in oil reservoir simulation, where the properties of the field or the properties of the reservoir remains the same, but the engineers will have to perform various injection scheduling. They have to do it. In that case, the properties remains the same, but they do injections at various times. So this is an example of multi-query. So here we took the capital H to be 1/28, the beta is 20, and then we have the parameters. So here, the advantage of the pin is that for pin, you just run the simulation only once for the first query, and you can reuse its solution for subsequent queries. And we try to look at the time. Next slide, please. Yeah. Okay. Hello. Yeah, so I just have to exit the building. So.
Okay, we'll summarize somehow the presentation, and you have another 2 minutes maybe. And
pardon? Yeah, let me just quickly round up. So here, as you can see on my slides, we can see that we have the J star, which is 28. This is the time it takes. So if one is to perform the experiment several times, then the pin assisted becomes only beneficial if we are to perform the experiment maybe like 30 times. Then from that 30 upward, then that is when it becomes beneficial, because any subsequent query, there is no cost associated with the pin. As you can see in the diagram, that the pin cost is flat, but for the Newton's method, for the classical, the cost is actually increasing. Next slide, please. So yeah, just to summarize, so what we did is that we developed a pin-assisted two-level mixed finite element for Darcy for timer. We try to replace the nonlinear solver on the coarse mesh with a pin. And in terms of accuracy, the accuracies are not really compromised, but it's still not beneficial for single query experiment. But for multi-query experiments, it's something worth considering. Thank you. This work is in, just like I said earlier, is a joint work with Faisal Perak from King Fahd University. Thank you, and I hope you're able to hear me clearly. So apologies for the alarm, the noise from here.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation. Do we have some questions? I have no presentation for you. You can have some questions, okay?
Yeah. So my question, I don't know if you heard the questions.
Can you hear the question? Because the speaking. Right.
Can you hear me?
You can go here and you can try to speak.
Or maybe just speak.
Hello?
That's good.
Can you hear me?
Not very. Yeah. Could you say that again, please?
Yeah.
You can talk here.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know if you heard the questions I made earlier. So why did you choose the parameters, so the W's in your case, to be 1?
Could you just come again, please? The alarm has gone off right now. I think it's stopped.
Maybe we can skip.
Try one more, if not.
Yeah, you want to write.
So I'll write.
We will write the question.
Yeah, in the chat. Yeah, I appreciate it. Okay, I think I can hear I can hear now the alarm has died down.
So why did you choose the W's, the penalty parameter, to be 1?
Okay. Yeah, you mean the weight, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, for now, this is what we started with. We assume that the weights, just to make it, it's the beginning of the work, so we choose the weights to be 1 or true. We haven't, we have one of our feature work is to be able to tweak the weights to see, especially I mentioned earlier that when the beta is higher, there is a problem with the pressure. So that could be where we'll look at increasing the weight that is associated with the pressure term in the loss function. So these are some future work we hope to look into.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will continue second part of the session, more oriented on regional development. And I prepared the presentation. Yeah, it's already.
You can just share the screen.
Thank you very much. So, as I said, that I am from the Regional Development Department. My topic is totally different, like yours. And I prepared the paper about the smart innovation in biosphere reserves. I am from Slovakia, from Matthew University. I prepared the paper with my colleagues. And it is a part of big project STIX, but also another one which is focused primarily on the biosphere reserves and their specifics. The aim of the paper is to define the smart innovations in biosphere reserves from the theoretical point of view, because we find the gap in the literature that it is not like specifically defined on the condition of biosphere reserve, and then try to identify the specific features of smart innovation based on the examples of good practices in biosphere reserve within Europe. As I said, the research gap is to define the innovation as a driver in the regional development, and specifically in biosphere reserves. And also, when you review the literature, there is not so clearly defined what means the smart innovation. Generally, innovation, they are defined by the smart feature is not so clear, and especially in context of biosphere reserve, it is not already defined in the literature. Like a main theoretical background, we define the innovation generally. If you have some idea about the innovation, usually it is something which produced in an original way. The original can be the output or the process or the form how it is organized, or maybe also in the form of organizational structure. And usually in the history or past, we can say that it was more oriented on some closed environment. When it was tested, the product was tested, developed in cooperation with maybe between the companies. But currently, because of the new technologies and a lot of sensor data, collection data, also in cooperation and collaboration with the different kind of stakeholders, they start to be more human-oriented and also dynamic, because they can change and adapt to the different situations. So we can say that they are the smart innovations. But as I said, we specifically oriented on biosphere reserve. Do you have the biosphere in Brazil? I think yes, a few of them. And they are specific kind of protected territories, but the protection of the environment is not so strict. So like a main idea or difference between the national parks and biosphere reserves, they can do some economic activities, development activities. So that's why it is also acceptable to speak about the innovation in these territories. And when we know the innovation theory, the basic principle of development innovation was the triple helix. Then it was developed, and there was added civil society participatory governance. It was covered triple helix, and now because also the biosphere reserve have the specific condition, we can add the natural environment, and that's why the name is multiple helix. It is already mapped also in the literature, and this one can be applied also in case of biosphere reserve, because even there can be developed innovation, they have to respect the specific of the territory. They have to protect fauna, flora. The activities cannot harm the nature, and also they should be or develop some balance between the nature and human. When we read the literature and when we try to adapt theoretically on the condition of biosphere reserve, we defined 5 main groups. The first one and second is technological innovation. The second one is process-oriented innovation, economic innovation, which usually use technologies in some way to gain some profit or save money. And social innovation, they are usually based on cooperation with the citizens, with different kind of stakeholders. We did the research within the Europe. In Europe, we have 205 biosphere reserves, and they are differentiated in different countries. Also, the number of biosphere reserves is differentiated by countries. We use artificial intelligence, GPT, and by prompt, we try to find biosphere reserves which can be seen as innovative if they do some innovative activities, then if they collect data and they somehow publish them, and if they use them for the public policy recommendation. And on the map, you can see the names of the biosphere reserves which were indicated as the best in this innovative capacity. And some of them, they are they're like just in one country, but some of them, like for example, Badensee, it's a biosphere reserve which covers 3 countries. So also the activities which were indicated, they are based on cooperation of 3 different organizations or parts of organizations. Good example we can find also into Portugal, but it was not oriented just on one biosphere reserve, but the biosphere reserve, they have something like a network of cooperation, and they collect data, like open data, and then they use it for the public policy recommendations. So here are some examples of identified innovation in biosphere reserves. Again, we divide them by the groups of or classification of smart innovation. You can see as a technological innovation, they are usually used or based on using different technology sensor to collect data, monitor the situation in the nature. Very interesting is this one, which is based in Finland, and they use the monitoring the sea level and different quality of seas, and also it is used for the potential floods prediction and modeling. This one in Engadina in Switzerland, it is very interesting because it's more like process orientation innovation. I have to say that it's quite difficult to say that the innovation is just purely technological, social, or economic. Usually they are integrated, and if you use technologies, usually you save some money and so on, so they are mixed. But this one is, for example, based on technology because they use drones in the country, and they monitor, for example, the tourists in the territory, or they monitor some special species of animals, how they move in the territory and how they behave. So they want to somehow eliminate the mass tourism by these technologies. And this one is about the cooperation of 3 countries because it's a trilateral biosphere reserve, and also they monitor the water and the data which are collected, they harmonize among 3 countries and use it for the public policy. For me, because I'm more oriented on the participatory of the biosphere reserves and the policy making, they are very interesting, the examples of social innovation and also economic innovations. Usually they are based on the different tools of citizen science. So the people are encouraged to collect data by mobile application, by doing photograph and sharing the data. And they help to even map the territory, for example, the fauna, flora, or they can do some activities to develop the territory and protect the territory. So these examples can be identified, for example, in Sweden, very similar is in Wales, and also in Spain. This one is even a little bit different because it's based on the open data they publish and they share, and also similar like in Portugal, they have the common platform of open data which are shared among the public authorities, but also in biosphere reserves. A little bit different and more economic innovation we identified in Entlebuch, it's in Switzerland. And they are awarded like one of the best in biosphere reserve generally in the world, and they get also the award European Energy Award because they try to somehow to be more environmentally oriented, also in use of biomass for district heating for public premises, and they get the award for this system. Also, you can see that they use the alpine hydropower, so they use really the potential of the territory. What was like the main point, what we find out is that almost all the innovation that we identify, they are more oriented on environmental protection or somehow to monitor the territory. And even the biosphere reserve develop or allow to develop the economic potential, develop also this social innovation and the integrity of stakeholders in the development activities. You can see that and only a few of the innovation that we find now as best examples, they are with some economic and impact or clear economic and really strong stakeholder participation. So there is still great potential to develop, and I think also the next like development or research can be oriented on this gap and to identify this like this. So try to say some reason why the innovation are just technically oriented and the dominance is in tech, and there is still some low interest given to citizen stakeholder participation, because very important is that these technologies, they take a lot of money, but if they are not used by people, they are usually not used very clever. What is also very important is that you could see that each territory which we identified as a best practice, they have own system, monitoring system, the technologies that they use. So even the innovation can be very well analyzed. Usually they have to apply for the specific territory. Maybe like the main idea can be used and try to implement in the territory, but it has to be optimized for the local ecosystems. And as I said, even usually they collect a lot of data. There is still great gap in using it for public policies. So the next practical orientation of policy for development of biosphere reserve should integrate the data with the human factor and to try to develop more data-driven and human-oriented policies. And for this can help also the participatory governance, which should be the main key for the management of the biosphere reserves. It is just the beginning of our research, because we've tried to find some inspiration, because in Slovakia we tried to develop some innovation and to implement them in Slovakia. We have a quite big project for it, so that's why it is just some kind of review. So thank you very much for your attention, and if you have some questions, I will be happy to answer. It's totally different topic, I know. So if you don't have a question, maybe I can ask my colleague, Katka, to have her presentation. Zase ti to. Maybe it doesn't work.
Stop sharing the screen.
I just want to stop this one and to show her presentation. This touch pad. Okay.
This is extended.
Okay.
My presentation is.
This one?
And Katka, she will present the paper with the title Development Agency as a Source of Social Innovation in Catching Up Region.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Katarina Sikorova. I'm from the same university and from the same department as Katarina Vitalisova. We are colleagues. And I would like to share with you some initial results of our research dealing with development agency as a source of social innovation in catching up region. Why catching up regions need a social innovation? On the right side, you can see the map of Slovak Republic. And there is a red colored region, and this was the object of our research. I have a few data about the Banska Bystrica region to demonstrate that it's really a catching up region, because there is a population decline. Unemployment rate is quite improved, but still above the national average. And in this southern part of the region, we have some districts with the unemployment rate touching 20%, because there are a group of people who are long-term unemployed, and it's very difficult to involve them at the labor market. Then this region is characterized by fragmented settlement. There are 516 municipalities. Many of them are very small, with less than 200 inhabitants, and only 24 towns in this region. And what is a very negative situation is the at-risk of poverty rate, because this indicator increases or has increased to 23% of inhabitants in 2024. In 2010, the rate was about 20%. It's still high, but has increased. And Banska Bystrica region ranks among Slovakia's least developed regions, and as well in Europe. It's one of the least developed regions. So this is the starting point for our research, and we try to think how to find some social innovations and how to help this region to start the development process and sustainable development process. Here is a very brief theoretical background. So what are social innovations? We can say that they have like three pillars or three characteristics. They offer some novel solutions, new approaches to challenges for region like unemployment, inequality, exclusion. They are cross-sectoral. That means that they require participation, like NGOs, public sector, private sector as well, and citizens. And thirdly, they should be scalable and transformative. That means that the idea could be used in another regions. So these are the bases for our research. And now, so what was the aim of our paper or of our study was to identify, drawing on the results of an analysis of selected areas of activity of the development agency established by the Banska Bystrica region, its contribution to social innovations. And our question was how the outcomes of these agencies' activities may support the development of a catching up region. On the right side, you can see the methods and the design of our research. We use the qualitative case study in this case. So let's give you a very brief introduction what this development agency does. And she was established in 2018. That means it's a quite young organization. She was established by the regional government, by the council of this regional government, and she is seen as a development arm of the regional government and delivering services in the public interests. Here you have the 5 areas of its activity. And in this research, we concentrated on support for the regional economic development and the outpatient healthcare services. So let's move to the first area. I have to say that after its establishment in 2018, the development agency oriented her activities mostly on preparation of strategic development documents for the region, for districts of the region, etc. But later, in 2019, the activities concentrated and still are concentrated on 2 main areas. The first is providing fee-based project services for municipalities located in the region and other entities established by the regional government. So you can see there are schools, social enterprises, and tourism organization. And then the agency provides implementation of own project as well as the client's project. And the clients are here. And to give you like a better picture, what does it mean? I have here data from 2021 till 2024. In the first row, you can see the expenditure on regional economic development support. That means from all those activities the agency has, this money was spent for the regional economic development. Here you have the revenue from the project. That means only for the services, what the clients paid. But what I want to stress is the last row. That means the leverage ratio, which means how much money brought €1 of expenditure. And in the year 2024, €1 of expenditure gained another 63 euros to the region. You can see that there is a little bit disbalance between the leverage ratio. The year 2024 was very specific because the agency was successful in applying financial support for a huge project dealing with unemployment challenges. So that's why the number here is so big. But you can still see that the activities of agency are quite effective. Yeah, because €1 generates another from 11 till 25 euros to the region. Here are some other four numbers from its beginning or from its establishment in 2018. The whole support was more than 27 million euros that the agency brought to the region from all those projects and their activities. Here you can see that for municipal projects, the total amount, total eligible expenses were almost 4 million euros. And they prepared 65 municipal projects and 16 projects for other entities. When speaking about municipal projects, there are very small municipalities, and their personal capacity is usually the mayor plus one person. So they don't have time and knowledge to prepare such development projects. So this is one very good example. How can development agency can help to develop the region? Then we have the second area of activities, and this is the support and development of outpatient healthcare facilities. The starting point for these activities is the situation in Slovak Republic. According to analytical documents of our Ministry of Health, each year the accessibility of outpatient medical care is getting worse in some regions, and the Banska Bystrica region is one of the region with, let's call it the black districts. That means they are the districts with the worst situation, because doctors are getting retired, and there is a lack of new, younger doctors. The development agency concentrates on sustaining existing outpatient facilities, recruitment of new physicians, and a residency program. And what does it mean? Here you can see the map of the region with districts. In June 2025, the agency operated 12 outpatient clinics. Nowadays, it's 14. And what does it mean to operate the outpatient clinic is to provide full technical, material, and administrative support. That means that the physician only goes to work and work with patients. He doesn't have to think about the communication with insurance companies, with other technical problems, etc. And the physicians are employees of the agency. Because we have, of course, a network of private physicians who are working for themselves. They are like private companies, small private companies. So here you can see the numbers where those clinics are. And I would like to speak shortly about the conditions for residents. As I mentioned, there is a resident program. Nowadays, the agency cooperates not with 7, but with 6 physicians. These data are from 2024, but they published a newer annual report, and now it's only 6. But what does it mean to be a member of this residence program? Is that you can get monthly allowance of 1,105 euros in 2025. In 24, it was only 1,000. And upon passing the exams, you can get a job in outpatient clinic, and the agency will support all the technical, administrative, and material issues you need. So there will, in the regional parliament, there was a discussion between members of this parliament, because some of the regional MPs are doctors. And they argued why to support some colleagues, but there is the public interest. And so what are the social economic impacts of this healthcare provision? So we found out some. There is a group of 6 reasons why to support healthcare outpatient care is because it improves health outcomes. That means people have better access, for example, to preventive care. There is a higher chance to early detection of some diseases. Secondly, there are some environmental gains because it reduces, for example, travel emissions, etc. The doctor is near. It could help, or it could contribute to the return of young generation, because usually after you graduate the university, you are younger than a 60 years old colleague who is going to be retired. And usually in the southern part of the region, young people are leaving. So we think this could help somehow. Then it contributes to long-term cost savings, because when you start to treat certain diseases earlier, it's cheaper than treat the patient in the later stadium of an illness. And it could help to increase the regional attractiveness, because families could or will retain in a territory with accessible healthcare, for example. So to conclude, we see development agency as a catalyst of social innovation in Banska Bystrica region. Of course, we are aware of some limitations of our research, because this is only a single case study. And as I mentioned, it's the beginning. So further, we plan to include more development agencies around Slovakia, and later try to research the situation at least at the neighbor countries to have more complex picture about this topic. But we identified that development agency can help build institutional capacity, because it strengthens absorptive capacity of small municipalities, enabling participation in development programs. And I have to say that sources from EU funds or public are the dominant source of financing development activities in Slovakia. So that's why it's crucial to support these activities. Development agency brings a novel governance arrangements And we see that this could be as a transferable model as well, at least in the conditions of Slovak Republic, because we have another regions, Prešov and Košice, in similar situation than the Banska Bystrica region. And this project was founded by STIX. This research was founded by STIX projects and 2 other projects. So thank you for your attention, and if you have some questions.
Thank you very much. Want to ask something? Thank you. So thank you very much.
Not my area.
Thank you very much for the participation in the session, and we have the presenter. There is another keynote speaker, I think, in the main hall. Mhm. Yeah.
O nejaké portugalské inštitúcie v Lisabonu. Avis Procil. Mne to prišlo, len som na to neklikala, na to neviem, čo tam bolo, ale
A co ci prišlo, že do mailu?
SMS-kou.
Smysl?
Prišlo mi, že to je Autoridade Nacional de Emergencia. A že aj pri extrémnych teplotách to zvykne pozerať.
Prišlo mi, ukázalo mi iba, že Mary si dala fotku včera.
Mary písala ináč.
Ja som jej písala SMS-ku teraz.
Písala, lebo som vás nechcela prerušovať a písala, že
Lepšie či horšie?
mali vyzeral, že už dobre, bez horúčky, ale o 4:00 dokrcal celú posteľ. Teraz mu zase teplota stúpa, takže asi viróza alebo z toho bazéna.
So thank you for your assistance.
Yeah, and for help.
A teraz, kde som bola, prišlo mi to. High temperatures, áno. Áno.
Ďakujem.
To je super.
Takže máme fraj. Ideme sa zobriať, či ideme zaniesť veci a potom sa ideme zobriať.
Teoreticky môžeme...
A na ten keynote nechcete zostať? Net Zero Communities, True Life Cycle Thinking.
Dobre,
A môžeme ísť potom
Nie, tam boli také tie, ale veľké, možno, že ste sa pozrieť. Stále tom dávam šancu.
ale včera to tlačíte bol fajn, čo?
Neviem, tak ráno to bolo divné.
Ja to mám len proti knačke. Priznám sa, že proti takýmto tráviacim iné sa
Ale keďže ja mám SMEčku, aj ona, Medium, aj NBA,
Super ste to zvládli.
to bolo dobre.
Bolo veľmi dobre.
zo zvýšku.
Hej. A preto by som navrhla, a teraz to zase bude vyzerať, že som ako alkoholik, ale niekedy na takéto črevné trošku len likeru, nejaký, ja neviem, alebo nejaký fernet, ale že predično, ale ono je aj veľmi teplo.
A to vieš, to som včera iba 14. Nebolo nič také, že...
Perché sarà questo non più qua.
Il papero lo fa un'altra volta.
Non vuoi fare il papero?
No, preferisco, visto che ho Sordini pronto,
Ah, ok.
vorrei fare una parte di niente, no, niente cuffie, dai, andiamo direttamente lì.
No, non per lei.
Ah, per lei?
No, vado.
Dovessimo anche cosa fare. Che su questo portale che curva fittile.
Oh, fermati. Messo in colpo.
Concetto strano delle riunioni alle 11, eh?
E non rompere i coglioni.
Buongiorno.
Anche a lei. Tanto ti facciamo. Allora, qua.
No, non ti voglio vedere.
Ah, dai,
No.
siamo tutte e due, vedi.
No.
Allora, sì, c'è ragione. Allora, i Sordini?
Sordini è il tecnico della fibra che gli ha risuonato il campanello per la 400ª volta.
Oh, che bello. Allora, io ho visto che Sordini mi si è aggregato
Mi si è
a...
registrato un ragazzo in gamba.
Tu ti sei registrato?
Assolutamente no.
Ti frega un cazzo, va bene. Allora,
No, stavo facendo altro, mi devo registrare.
Se vuoi. Devo cercare di trovare il modo di aprire quel repository per Andrea e ovviamente anche per tutti gli altri, ma pensa, ecco perché. Internal, the project can be assessed by. Ok, allora cerchiamo di capire come cazzo andare a modificare. Secure configuration. Security.
Registratevi qui.
Puttana bestia.
Registratevi, cosa intendi?
Create an account, un bottoncino verde.
Con EduGain?
No, senza. Quello sopra, quello subito sopra. Ora adesso come cazzo facciamo ad aumentare container model operator? Che gran palle. Allora.
Dovresti avere la mia richiesta.
Dovresti avere anche nel giro di poco dovresti ricevere un mail per conferma del mail stesso.
Che palle.
Oh Ale, non mi ricordo come si apre il progetto. Come cazzo si apre il progetto? Io ho questo progetto qua e lo voglio aprire, vedi qui adesso mi dice internal members. Intanto invite e ti invito a te. Bombi.
Sì, no, devi fare così.
Intanto ti invito. No, Roberto De Petri, non so chi sia. Che tu come owner.
Bene, ho cliccato.
Ok, adesso dammi un attimo che, ok, ti vedo.
Ma che
Ok.
password metto?
Non lo devi mettere, non lo devi mettere, ti verrà inviata una mail a breve in cui definire la password, sì.
Sì, però queste cose andrebbero scritte.
L'ho scritte in due deliverable diversi, 7.1 e 7.2.
No, ma nella mail, cioè io ho cliccato, qui c'è scritto è a posto, c'è scritto vai al link, e nel link però poi ti chiede, poi arriva la seconda mail, hai ragione, però sei in fase di approvazione, adesso puoi impostare la tua password, va bene, va bene.
Allora.
È fissa o scade questa?
È fissa. Da qui in poi puoi anche agganciarti al tuo EduGain se c'hai voglia, o idem. Allora, come cazzo si fa? Non me lo ricordo. Secure, build.
No account found.
Vedi che Artemis EU è pubblico.
Sì, no, infatti non è qui a settings. Cioè nel progetto, settings del progetto general.
Ah, non di questo, di questo.
Sì, se quello è privato, sì, quello lì va lì.
Ok. Setting. General.
Ci dovrebbe essere
Visibility, forse.
Esatto.
Eccolo qua. Public.
Sì.
dovrei aver fatto.
Ok, save changes. Allora, adesso questo qui mi dovrebbe dire che è pubblico. Ok, quindi perfetto, allora lì ci sei. Adesso se tu vai, fammi da tester, vammi sul link, quello che ti ho mandato, Baltic INFNIT. Guarda se ci arrivi e se leggi il readme.
Buono, aspetta. Allora, qual è il link? Qui riesco ad entrare, quello del Sordini?
Sì.
Sì.
Aspetta, non lì, qui. Adesso ti mando una chat qua. Ctrl V, tac. Guarda se entri qua.
Sì, abbastanza.
Perfetto, l'importante è che mi vedi il readme.
Sì.
Perfetto, ok. Adesso questa cosa qui del getting started dovresti averla fatta. Dovresti andare a fare tutta la parte del managing K8S via CLI e con la sottosezione OIDC Agent. Anzi, aspetta che ti faccio la condivisione. Tanto è uno schermo e basta, condividi. Quindi tu ti dovresti, Ale ce lo dovrebbe già avere, la parte di OIDC Agent, te lo installi, vai su questo repo qua, te lo installi, ma è abbastanza veloce, e ti configuri quello che viene definito fondamentalmente un client ad hoc per questa attività qui. E trovi tutto fondamentalmente la configurazione qua. Basta che segui le indicazioni. Se ti trovi male, me lo dici e io modifico la guida. Però puoi anche non farlo adesso, insomma. Adesso quello che mi interessa di più è verificare con Ale che questa roba lo dovrebbe già avercela, o perlomeno lo dovrebbe ottenere in tempi brevi, a fronte di un token, vedere un po' quello che succede in funzione e creare il primo servizio dentro il cluster. Ci sei, Ale?
No, sto guardando, c'è dei problemi. Non so che collabora.
Vabbè, ci guardiamo. Se vuoi ti do una mano dopo a guardarci, se vuoi. Sei
Tutto
dentro?
questo è per far funzionare la roba di Loredana?
Tutto questo è per mettere nella condizione Loredana di fare un deployment di qualcosa dentro il cluster.
Sì.
E metterla nelle condizioni di farlo sto deployment. C'è bisogno del link, Alessandro?
Sì, mi torno.
È semplicemente IAM, ma non c'è HNet avanti.
C'è HNet meno IAM.
Sì. Però c'è anche CNAF.
E che cazzo sta tutto schermo?
No.
Zoom di merda.
Non è il link?
Da parte tua? Di che?
HNet meno IAM, Cloud CNAF o CNAF Cloud.
CHNet, aspetta che lo stacco.
Trovato.
Non vedo un cazzo.
Io non mi ricordo in quale delle due versioni sono amministratore di sistema. Vediamo.
Non essere, vabbè, uguale, non è un problema se sei amministratore o no,
No,
non
qui
mi interessa.
così non sono amministratore, quindi meglio.
Uguale, no, non mi interessa, anche se sei amministratore non mi interessa, tanto fondamentalmente alla fine il tuo token, quello che è importante è il gruppo in questo momento.
Infatti devo rifare la richiesta di join del gruppo.
No, non lo fare.
Non la
Così vediamo se effettivamente non appartenendo a nessun gruppo
io posso entrare.
Esatto. Ok? E non dovresti in teoria.
No, non dovrei.
Però ti devi creare un token.
Sì, prima mi devo entrare con control, presumo. Allora, vogliamo documentare questa cosa?
Cosa?
Come si crea il token, mi faccio gli screenshot e si fanno video in Markdown.
Come si crea il token? Già c'è, già l'ho fatta.
Perfetto, allora a posto.
Il token si crea così.
Ok.
Ce l'hai questa? Guarda un po', dovresti poter entrare anche qui senza grossi problemi.
Sì, perché se è pubblica è quella che mandavo loro, no?
No, quella che ho mandato io.
Sì, quella che hai mandato a lui.
Ah, loro, ah sì, sì, sì. Aspetta, chat.
No, trovata.
Trovata?
Sì.
Va bene. Poi di sei agent ce lo dovresti già avere.
No.
Non ce l'hai? Puoi anche farlo da una... Magari ti fai un jump verso, verso una macchina con
No,
SSH dove ce l'hai.
No.
Ti vuoi connettere che condividi tu?
Ah, scusate. Come volete.
Allora, qui interrompo la condivisione. Poi quando il Sordini entra si perderà un po' di roba. Ma...
tutto muto. Buongiorno.
Ti sento sempre dall'altro microfono.
Sì, è giusto così.
Sì, immaginavo.
Ma se no si fa casino. Non l'ha presa benissimo il mio Windows. Se non me ne fregasse un cazzo di prendere appunti.
Allora, qui fondamentalmente sta installando
OEDC.
tutta la parte di OEDC.
Questi sì. Ok, questo l'ho installato. Il comando era banalmente quello preso dal sito. Ok, quindi sulla guida. Allora, quick start. Vuoi fare il quick start?
Sì, anche perché l'hai soltanto installato. Adesso lui ti fa fare le val di quella roba lì.
Chissà che...
Ok. Poi, secondo successivo è OEDC Gen.
Sì, con lo short name.
Esatto, però attento, devi andare a vedere le note.
Esatto, con qual è? The initials to be used, va bene, lo sappiamo, the scopes, no.
Quindi la cosa più importante sono qui, nota 1, quindi che devi avere l'issuer, devi utilizzare quello come issuer, e gli scope, quelli che ci sono vanno bene. Poi magari semplifico un attimino, metto un pochino più dettagli nella guida.
Quindi io devo tornare qua e...
No, qui non devi fare nulla, devi andare devi rimanere nel tuo prompt.
Sì.
Rimani nel tuo prompt, esatto, e qui ci fai un bel OEDC-gen e scegli un nome per il tuo client.
Ah, cosa vogliamo? Cioè, per me stesso però.
Esatto. O meglio, mettici Artemis, insomma, riconoscilo, insomma, in qualche modo.
Bombini Artemis.
Come ti pare.
Ah, perché ti dice tanto è come mio.
E sarà sempre quello che andrai a utilizzare, capito?
Il meno va bene, vero?
Sì, il meno ci sta. Ok, adesso qui devi andare a... Non credo che ci sia perché è una versione di OEDC che non c'è, va scritto.
Va scritto,
va scritto.
Vogliamo fare tutti gli screenshot così lo aggiungiamo.
No, va bene, dai, mano a mano che ci sei, però scrivilo intanto.
Si vede il mio nome, diciamo, fa una ragione. Qui però prima devo scriverlo, che è questo, con la trailing,
con lo slash finale. Vai.
Dovrebbe salvarli tutti, giusto?
Sì, te li dovrebbe salvare tutti in screenshot.
Infatti.
Te l'ha diretto di screenshot da qualche parte, insomma, dove gli hai detto te.
Benissimo, e quindi invio qua.
Invio.
The following scopes are supported.
Allora, come c'è scritto nella nota 3, non devi fare assolutamente niente. Nella nota 2 non devi fare assolutamente niente, devi premere invio.
Perfetto, grazie. Nota 2. Questo mi serviva XDG Open.
Non te l'hai installato?
Per il momento non mi ha detto nulla. Qui sta polling con DC Agent.
Ci sta mettendo un po' troppo, non dovrebbe fare questa cosa qua.
Cos'è XDG Open?
Ti dovrebbe comparire il QR code qui davanti.
Polling. Forse devo provare a installare XDG Open.
Provaci un po', va.
XDG Open.
Strano perché dovrebbe fartelo on the fly.
XDG Utils, proviamo. E che probabilmente non essendoci, quindi qui CTRL C.
Per esempio, a me non me l'aveva fatto questa, è la prima volta che vedo questo errore qua.
Sai, non lo so, che Ubuntu è?
22.
Il mio 26.04.
Può darsi anche che non ce l'ho messi dentro. Magari ce l'aveva by the fly.
Do you want to use it? Yes. Infatti stava molto più veloce.
Allora, questo dobbiamo ricordarcelo. Allora, va bene, authorize.
Non volevo fare altro...
Sì, fai lo screenshot.
Lo screenshot sia di questo. Scusate, so che ti stai annoiando da casa. Dice quanto mi diverto.